was waiting for my sting because
that was a fitting start to this item.
It's the best part of it. It's the best part of the item is the sting. But no, I know it's your favourite.
Around the World it's called.
Around the World.
And it's creating a slot for the... We couldn't find room to speak about these stories elsewhere because they're not worthwhile.
Yeah.
So here's a slot for the stories that you don't care about.
Maybe some of them are feel good. You know, you want to end your week on a high. I don't think we've ever done it on a Friday with yourself, Adrian. We were
first time.
This week we decided,
long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, do you know who'd love this slot? Adrian Barry. Let's do it with him. He'll not be sarcastic about it. He'll not give out about it. He'll just enjoy it.
I'll be on board. I'm a team player.
Yeah, team player. The first story, Adrian, will take us all the way to California, United States of America, the West Coast. There's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist called Chloe Kim. A lot of people will be familiar with her. Some won't. But she's very, very, very talented. She's 22, youngest woman to win an Olympic snowboarding gold medal in the women's snowboard halfpipe. She was just 17 when she did that at the 2018 Winter Olympics. She went on to repeat the trick then. But she is quite extraordinary. We've got a video clip that we'll bring you in just a second. So she gave a piggyback down a mountain. You'll see it on the screen here. We can talk over it. To a fellow snowboarder. This was at Mammoth Mountain in California. Bit of blizzard conditions, as you can see. She's holding the snowboarder's hands while they go down together. She had fallen, this snowboarder. Kim then teaches her how to roll over to get back up. She's like, all right, this is easy, light work. Windy conditions and extremely, extremely hazardous, it has to be said. Mammoth Mountain in California. Typical of the conditions that you would find there. A beginner snowboarder.
Mammoth Mountain.
Mammoth
is that what it's
Mountain.
called?
It is. Yeah. So you can imagine it's fairly big.
It's big, all right.
Hence the name. There was actually a Mammoth Mountain in Colorado. We were climbing Mount Elbert in Colorado last summer. Tallest mountain in the Rockies. Just not bragging there, but throw that in there.
I knew there was a point to this story because it sure wasn't the actual story.
Well, there you can see in the video, she puts her on her back. And there's obviously someone recording, which would lead you to believe it. You could be cynical and say, well, they're here and recording this. But she's very, very skillful. She gets to the bottom and the woman is like, thank you. And the guy's like, do you have any idea who that is? She's like, nope, not a clue. That's 2-time Olympic champion Chloe Kim. And she decides to get a photograph with her. And apparently it's not the first time that Chloe Kim has helped someone in need. There was people in the comments saying, someone said Chloe helped my nephew out of a tree well years ago. We still talk about it. She's the best.
It's just going to be a trend now of people going, that time I slipped and fell. Chloe Kim was there to help me out.
So it appears to be, it's like, Forrest Gump is everywhere. Like it appears Chloe Kim, when someone is in trouble on a mountain, Chloe Kim just appears.
Well, that is one story I don't care about. So what else have we got?
Guys, I just wanted a feel-good story this week. We talked about it in a production meeting earlier this week. Did that not make you feel good, Adrian? You're so cynical.
Not especially.
Okay, we'll move on from California to Poznan, Poland. Marcin Oleksy is the name of this player. He's an amputee football player who's had a goal nominated for the Puskás Award, FIFA's award, of course, for the best goals across the previous calendar year. You've other nominees this year, including Mbappe. Mario Balotelli makes an appearance. Richarlison, for his goal for Brazil in the World Cup as well, is in there. The current holder of the Puskás Award is Eric Lamela. You'll remember his sensational Rabona for Spurs against Arsenal in the 2020-21 season. And look, Premier League stars have actually dominated this award. Remember Stephanie Roach getting nominated famously, and the famous photos of her with Ronaldo and Messi at the award ceremony. But Son Heung-min, Mo Salah and Olivier Giroud have all won it while playing in England in recent years. But this goal that was nominated, Marcin Oleksy, so he represented Poland at the 2022 Amputee World Cup, helping them reach the round of 16. They were edged out 2-1 by Brazil. But the goal that we're about to see on screen, we can probably pop it up on screen. This was in an amputee game for Poland, surrounded by his Warta Poznan teammates. The ball's crossed in. It's an unbelievable finish. It has to be said.
That's the first time I've seen that. That is tasty.
I mean, so the guy has one leg, and he's able to do that, flick his body basically up and above itself. I was looking up the rules then so the Irish Amputee Football Association is also set up. Was set up in April 2011. It was first played competitively in America in the 1980s, amputee football, and I know that it's going from strength to strength in Ireland. There's a couple of lads, even Paul Smith from back home in Monaghan, involved with the FAI, and they're really, really taking this on as a serious thing in Ireland, are doing quite well. So an amputee is defined as someone who is abbreviated at or near the ankle or wrist. So the rules involved in the game: outfield players can have 2 hands but only 1 leg. Goalkeepers may have 2 feet but only 1 hand, and you have those metal crutches that you'll see in the clip that we just played as well. And use of a crutch, naturally enough, against a player is completely frowned upon. Leads to ejection for the game, penalty kick for the opposing team. It's a slightly smaller pitch, of course, than a full-size football pitch, 70 by 60 metres. The ball is FIFA standard, no offside rule as well, and the goalkeeper can't leave their area. But I just think it's a sport that probably doesn't get the credit or recognition it deserves. I know the FAI are trying to do a lot of things to kind of bring it in, and blind football is another one that's really going from strength to strength in Ireland as well. So a lot of football associations in the 80s got ahead of this and started to, I guess, make amputee football a bigger thing and get into it. As I said, it started off in America kind of in the 80s, but Ireland are really getting involved now, and they're one of the countries that are really doing good things.
I'm gonna sit in judgment here, and I'm gonna say you're 1 from 2 so far.
1 from 2. Okay.
Wow was here, Shane. What have you got?
So Chloe Kim. Sorry if you're watching, Chloe, but Adrian, not impressed.
Doing it for me.
Let's hope you don't get. Have you ever been skiing?
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
Well, geez, I hope you don't get stuck up there or caught in a blizzard or need help from Chloe Kim.
Come on, keep it rolling with the stories we don't care about here, Shane. What have we got?
We're going to Salerno, Italy now.
Yeah,
Adrian, because Salernitana, Serie A team, have gone back to their ex, which is something you should never do. 48 hours after getting the sack, Davide Nicola brought in from the cold. There he is, screaming after being sacked. Possibly, probably. Lovely hair, bit of a Davigina look about Davide Nicola. Essentially, Salernitana lost 8-2 to Atalanta in Bergamo last Sunday, which led to the initial call. Atalanta putting 8 goals past them. So that was the first time in a Serie A game that had happened for more than 26 years. So a bit of an outlier. They're winless in 6, 4 defeats, outscored 18 goals to 7 during that stretch as well. They're 16th in the Serie A table, Salernitana, 9 points above the drop zone, so it's not all lost. They have league leaders Napoli up next tomorrow before they take on informed Lecce, who have not lost in 6 games. So they sacked Davide Nicola, and then on Wednesday they announced he was back in his old management position. So he received a call from the president of the club. They had apparently been in conversations with Rafa Benitez to take this job. He obviously turned it down, and then the president's like, Jesus, do you know what? We'll go back to the old guy. Literally 2 days later. So the president explained. He says the president explained to me the reasons for his painful decision, which he had taken to highly discontinuity after a bad defeat. I apologised, took responsibility for the performance, but he basically was saying, look, I know this club, I know what the team needs to do to get back to where it needs to be. I have the passion, I have the desire, and I thank the president, I thank the director Morgan De Sanctis for his mediation. Without him, this would not be possible. Let's start again. It's such a lovely story, Adrian. Someone being given a second chance. Now this could go south. If he starts losing games again, as I said, it's Napoli and Lecce up next for him. So leaders, inform Lecce. In a real terrible way, I'd love to see him get sacked again. It sounds awful.
It's basically like it's a non-story. It's basically like a quicker Big Sam. That's all. Quicker Big Sam. Colin McCarthy's been in touch to say we had 14 show up for a Junior C Camogie game, and Chloe Kim stood in a quarter forward.
See, she helps out in all sorts of emergencies.
If anybody else has been helped by Chloe Kim, please get in contact.
Has anyone met Chloe Kim? Let us know.
You're 1 from 3 so far, Shane.
That's grand. I don't care. We'll move on to the last story. We're going, Adrian, to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt. The music probably isn't what Usain Bolt wants to hear. There he is on screen. A lawyer for Usain Bolt saying this week that more than $12.7 million is missing from his account with a private investment firm in his homeland of Jamaica. Linton P. Gordon is the lawyer for Bolt. He's provided the Associated Press with a copy of a letter demanding that the money be returned. So the account once had $12.8 million in it, this account of Usain Bolt's, but now has $12,000 in the account. So it's a serious act, they're saying, of fraud, larceny, or a combination of a number of things against our client. They've threatened civil and criminal action if the money isn't returned within 10 days. So the countdown clock has started. If you're watching this and you've stolen Usain Bolt's money, he wants it back within 10 days. Bit of a Liam Neeson vibe going on here. I will find you and I will.
Is that all his money, do we know?
I'm sure Usain
Bolt. The other accounts?
He has to have more than 12 million, doesn't he? Usain Bolt?
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but I mean, relatively speaking, fastest guy in the world, one of the most famous athletes there has ever been. Yeah, he's got to have more money than that. Unless he's absolutely been financially foolish and wasted it all on different things. I don't know. But of course, it seems to be an element of fraud within the bank. Generally speaking, he's saying we understand clients are anxious to receive more information. Closely monitoring the situation, the company has said it discovered the fraud earlier this month and that several of its clients may be missing millions of dollars.
His net worth is estimated. Sorry, Shane.
Yeah, his net worth.
Estimated to be $90 million.
Okay.
So he does have his money elsewhere.
He's 78 million odd else.
Not going to make or break him.
Now, he's put up a bit of a cryptic Instagram post. You'll see on the screen now in a second here. And I can't read the bottom of it, and I've made the mistake of making it too small. But
this is very reflective of this item.
He's mentioned the word cryptic, and he's put a black screen on his Instagram post, and he's referenced money as well. So It's a worrying one.
I was with you there until the end, and you lost it.
In a world of lies, where is the truth? The history of evil. What is the root? Money. # cryptic world. That's what he said in that post. So look, I guess the point of this morning is, if you have Usain Bolt's money, if you have his $12.8 million and you happen to be watching OTB AM this morning, give it back to him. So Adrian Barry, I'm delighted to have brought you along on my around the world journey. You might say one out of 4.
I would say 1 out of. I was going to give you a 2 there, but the fact that you couldn't read your own thing at the end.
Do you know what?
That's counted against you, I'm afraid.
As long as someone took something from this morning, maybe a feel-good factor, 4 little stories that you may have missed. So now, if you're sitting around the pub with your friends, or around the gaff with your family this weekend, and someone brings up this story, you can say, I've heard about this. Shane talked about this on Around the World on Friday. So thank you, Shane. Equally so, if you didn't like it, a bit like Adrian, I really don't care. We've done this a lot on a Friday, and Adrian's not
the stories that you haven't heard from elsewhere, and there was no need for you to hear them, but that was it. It was Around the World with Shane. Please don't do that on a Friday again.
I think we should do it on a Friday every week now, just because of Adrian's reaction. You've made it more interesting.